China is reportedly scrapping its quarantine requirements for cross-border travelers in January as it continues to simmer down its zero-COVID policy. Yahoo Finance's Anjalee Khemlani is here with the latest. So, Anjalee, how are things changing?
Well, Rochelle, scrapping is a little much compared to what they're actually doing, which is just doing away with the quarantining, that separate facility that you have to enter after arriving on Chinese soil. But what they are keeping is that 3 days monitoring at home. Now, this change had already come into play as we saw China first start to remove those COVID policies at the start of the month, reducing the amount of time that travelers had to spend in those quarantine facilities, and now doing away with that altogether, but remaining at home and monitoring after arrival. This coming at a time as we know that China is seeing an increase in cases, but our peek into what that looks like is very slim. As we know, there have been projections of more than a million, possibly 2 million deaths during the current surge, and a new report by Airfinity looking at daily cases possibly topping 4 million by March if the surge continues. China has already warned that there could be a new variant that emerges from this surge, and there are concerns about what the impact will be. And we know, of course, that the surge, is not being detected as much. A quote from one of the epidemiologists at Airfinity pointing out that China has stopped mass testing, no longer reporting asymptomatic cases. So kind of similar to what we see here in the U.S., the picture of how we can track these cases is becoming a little bit fainter. So just keep an eye on it for right now.
And Anjalee, we know when it comes to the efficacy of some of the vaccines available in China, there's been some questions, and that Berlin has sent its first batch of COVID-19 vaccines to China. What do we know there?
Well, those vaccines may be headed to China, but those on the mainland will not have access to them unless they are German nationals. We know that China was looking at importing these foreign vaccines for foreign nationals alone, Germany being the first with the BioNTech Pfizer vaccine, but it is unclear how many other foreign nationals will have access to this batch. In addition, we know that Chinese nationals will continue to use the homegrown vaccines for now, so that's where things stand.